34. Baby Come Home. As I stepped off the plane at Johannesburg Airport on Monday, 28 August 2017, the weight of destiny settled upon me. Today, my birth mother, Mom Doreen, would celebrate her 74th birthday. By divine design, our first meeting converged on this sacred day, intertwining our legacies of shattered beginnings and fractured roots. Born from the same pain, we'd both been torn from our mother's loving arms, deprived of the essential bond and sacred touch that ignites the soul. Yet, in this moment, our paths merged in a transcendent dance of healing, restoration, and sublime reunion. My heart swelled with emotion, imagining the depth of Mom Doreen's longing, the ache of a lifetime finally soothed as she would hold, for the first time, the baby she had given up so many years ago. The significance of this day overwhelmed me, yet filled me with joy in a torrent of feelings. I thought of the stark contrast between Mom Doreen's experience and mine. Grace had brought me to my mom and dad just days after birth, but Mom Doreen's path had been marked by a cruel twist of fate. As I clutched a travel bag containing 6 precious photo albums, meticulously curated by my mom from babyhood to matric, a lump formed in my throat. These albums weren't just a collection of memories. They were fragments of my life, woven together with love and care. The thought of gifting them to Mom Doreen, the woman who had given me life but never got to witness my growth, was almost too much to bear. And yet I wondered, would these albums reveal the essence of me to Mom Doreen? Could faded snapshots breach the gap between us, telling the story of the life we'd missed sharing? Every page, photo, and caption radiated my mom's unwavering love and dedication, a testament to the life Mom Doreen had relinquished. Through these pages, I hoped she would see the love that had shaped me. As I waited at the luggage carousel, the photo album bag grasped tightly in my hands. My heart hammered, knees buckled, and nervous silence gripped me. The promise of 7 sacred days with my birth mother, nestled in the heart of her home, unfurled the petals of my heart. The past few days had been a roller coaster since Martie Boyce's bombshell email on 22 August. But this was different from my experiences with Henny. Everything was positive and uplifting. Albie's voice on our first call on 24 August still echoed in my memory. The next day, her voice still raspy from the effects of anesthesia, she schemed to get me to hear our mother's voice. We devised a plan for me to call Mom Doreen, pretending to be Albie's friend, searching for her contact information. I made the call on 26 August. The moment her voice filled the line, I felt electrified. For the first time in my life, I heard my birth mother speak. Emotion overwhelmed me, but I fought back tears, focused on playing my role. The conversation was brief. I couldn't sustain the charade. One thought consumed me. This might be the first time I'd ever heard her voice. Did she whisper to me at birth? Soon I'd hear the truth from her own mouth. In the aftermath of that heart-shaking call, a gentle whisper within me urged, "Check your journal." I hesitated briefly, then surrendered to the nudge. As I paged through my journal, a seismic shift occurred within me, like the rumble before an earthquake. Sensing a profound mystery unfolding, I stumbled upon the inscription from 26 August the previous year. Had an energetic encounter with my mom and dad while meditating. Saw them presenting me as a baby to a host of angels. Recognition of who I am. Rewards for me. Yes, yes, yes. I am ready. Endow me, universe, endow me. In that instant, memories flooded back, transporting me to a realm where time and space dissolved. The meditation symbolism snapped into focus, its meaning crystal clear. My mom and dad's presentation was more than a recognition of my identity. It was a sacred transfer of guardianship to my birth mother, Doreen. As they relinquished their role, they affirmed Doreen's maternal bond. This powerful moment resonated with Rafiki's iconic gesture in The Lion King, imbued with prophecy as my mom and dad embodied joy and humility, restoring my birthright. The realization hit me like a tidal wave. They had known all along. This reunion with my birth mother was part of divinity's grand plan. The journal entry, once a personal affirmation, had become a testament to this divine design. As the tidal wave of realization crashed over me, sobs swelled within, straining to break free. My skin responded instinctively, erupting in gooseflesh that rippled up and down my entire body. This moment transcended coincidence. It was a testament to the intricate tapestry of fate, weaving together the threads of my existence. My mom and dad's love, my mom Doreen's sacrifice, and divinity's guidance had all converged, leading me to this moment of profound understanding and gratitude. In that moment, I knew I had to be there for her birthday. The coincidence of finding her just before this significant day wasn't lost on me. It felt like divine timing. Sharing a similar fate, relinquished at birth, and now guided by the prophetic inscription in my journal, our meeting seemed predestined. Albie agreed, and we decided her husband, Doe, should break the news to Mom Doreen that evening. He reported that she handled it better than expected. Despite her shock, she contained her emotions well during the conversation. Though visibly overwhelmed and struggling to find words, she asked several questions about me. To Doe, it seemed she was reeling, trying to process the revelation. She then stepped away, probably seeking some quiet time alone to absorb the news. The next morning, she was eager to talk to me again, now that the truth about our connection had been revealed. Albie's clever plan had paid off. Our previous phone call, where I posed as Albie's friend, had softened the initial blow. Mom Doreen had already heard my voice, albeit briefly, making this conversation less intimidating. As we connected once more, she cried. I cried. Neither of us could speak for what felt like an eternity. She seemed to find words first and started saying, her voice trembling, Will you forgive me? I didn't give her a chance to finish the sentence. There is absolutely nothing to forgive. Please don't ever say that again. You did nothing wrong, nothing at all. The moment was too big for both of us, and it felt like a telephone conversation wouldn't suffice. We needed to meet in person, face to face. With luggage in tow, I steeled myself to walk through the glass door to the waiting area where Doe and Mom Doreen awaited. Albie, determined to be there for our reunion, had begged her surgeon to discharge her early, defying post-op protocol. Still in her pajamas, she now waited anxiously in the car, her eagerness to welcome me home outweighing her own recovery. My familiar companions accompanied me. Numbness, nausea, deafening heartbeat, dry mouth, and a heavy chest. I didn't know what to expect, fearing inner Alice's fantasies. As our eyes met, time stood still. The airport's din faded, and the crowd around us seemed to levitate. Only my mommy and I existed. Desperate to hold back the overwhelming emotions, I clamped my hand over my mouth, but a sob burst forth, unstoppable. Tears streamed down, and Doe's soothing voice echoed through my sobs. Go to her, Mom. It's okay. Go. With those words, we began our slow, inevitable glide toward each other. We collapsed into each other's arms, our bodies merging in a desperate, long-awaited reunion. I wrapped myself around her, and she clung to me with equal ferocity. It was as if the family constellation session had prophesied this moment, and now reality was mirroring the vision. Time shattered, its fragments suspended in mid-air. The world around us froze, leaving only the two of us, entwined in a timeless, spaceless embrace. I buried my face in her hair, inhaling the sweet scent of her perfume and the unmistakable essence of my own heritage. Her grasp was primal, a lifeline to redemption. She held me with a desperation that seemed to scream, I'll never let you go again. Every fibre of her being clung to me as if her very existence hinged on this reunion. It felt familiar. It felt safe. I felt safe. She whispered words. Thank you. Thank you. My precious child is safe. Thank you. Through years of pent-up tears and emotions flooding from her body. As our hearts entwined, time dissolved, and the depths of our connection unfolded. Then I took her face in my hands, cupped her cheeks, and gazed into her eyes. In that instant, I saw beyond the tears, beyond the years of longing. I saw my own reflection, my own story, my own soul. And with a profound sense of recognition, my heart whispered the only words that mattered. I see you.